I have really enjoyed reading the comments from that video I posted up about all the lawnmower bans that are coming into effect in January of 2024. There's a number, California is one, but there's a number of other giant cities and states who are trying to pass legislation, or the legislation is in play right now, that's going to effectively ban these, and in some cases even throw you in jail if you are ever caught using gas-powered lawn equipment. I'm not kidding on this. It's actually in the legislation in some places. And we talked about that in that video. And the comments coming in from you guys are priceless, because a lot of you guys, just like I said in the video, have been using these electric lawn implements, and you say and concur that it's a bunch of crap. It's a bunch of garbage. These things don't last. They're not built to last. They're made very cheaply. They are consumer electronics, meaning you use them, you consume them for a little bit of time, and then they break and you throw them away and you buy new ones. Whereas gas engine, there's a number of you guys who commented who said you guys have been using the same lawnmower for 20 years. And you're planning on using it for many more years. You've been using the same chainsaws for 20 years. There was one person, one person left a comment saying, we've been using our electric chainsaw for 6 years, no problems. And there was another commenter who said that 6 years is about the max, and then after that they wear out and you have to throw them away and you buy a new one. And so that's been their experience. And a lot of people concurred that, they don't even last that long most of the time. So if you get one that lasts that long, you're lucky. Count yourself lucky. Maybe you bought an expensive, really high-end expensive one. But more evidence surfaces now that this EV revolution is dead. It's dead as a doornail. This thing is dying. There's not enough lithium on planet Earth to make the batteries for all of these things that people are going to need for, their home care, and to replace all the small engines. It's impossible to find all of the resources on this entire planet. You would have to start mining asteroids to even hope to find some of the stuff that you're going to need to make all of these battery operated, cars and doohickeys and whatever else. So let's go ahead and see the first article. Over at the Detroit Free Press, it says GM, General Motors, buys out nearly half of its Buick dealers across the country who opt to not sell EVs. Why are they not selling them? Why are they opting out? Because they don't sell, and they're a money loser. You don't want to go bankrupt. That's not the idea of being in business. You want to be able to make money, not lose money. And these dealers are like, I'm not playing this game. General Motors says nearly half of its Buick dealers took buyouts this year rather than invest in selling and servicing electric vehicles as the automaker's brands transition to all electric by 2030. That's just in 6 years. That means GM will end 2023 with about 1,000 Buick stores nationwide, down 47% from where it started last year. Late last year, Buick said it would be asking dealers to commit a minimum investment of $300,000 to $400,000 to prepare their stores to sell and service EVs. Buick is transforming and launching the best vehicles the brand has ever had in its fastest growing mainstream brand in 2023, said GM spokesman, completely deluded Sean Poppet, in an email this week to the Detroit Free Press. This all needs to be supported by the best customer experience in the transition to EVs. As stated before, this year we're giving dealers who are not aligned with Buick's future to exit voluntarily in a respectful and structured way, with the full support of our National Dealer Council. These things are not selling. People are not buying them. Word is getting out how much they cost initially. There's no cost savings in that. How hard they are to maintain, meaning if you get a small fender bender or something goes wrong, it takes months, sometimes a half a year maybe if you're lucky, to get the part in to replace it. Even if it's something simple like a dome light or something simple on the car that goes wrong and you need to get it replaced, you might not ever get it. And not to mention, if you ever get into a fender bender, do you know what the cost is to replace the stuff that you have to replace? And usually the battery is included with that. You're talking tens of thousands of dollars for a small fender bender. The word is getting out that these things are not financially viable to own. Over at oilprice.com, it says Ford cuts F-150 EV production. Ford is reducing the planned number of F-150 Lightning EV trucks by half from next year, Automotive News has reported, citing a company memo sent to suppliers. Per the new plans, Ford will churn out 1,600 F-150 Lightnings a week. beginning January, down from the initially planned 3,200 per week. We'll continue to match production with customer demand. That means it's going to go down a lot lower. EV demand this year surprised car makers unpleasantly as it turned out to be slower than they expected. As a result, EVs piled on dealers' lots, and dealers warned that this is an unsustainable situation. Some car makers offered discounts to entice people to buy an EV, but even these plus government subsidies were not enough to liven demand to the expected levels. Again, while I say the EV market is doomed, you can't listen. People will say, again, they leave comments down below these videos and they say, Zach, if we had your way of thinking, we'd still be using the horse and buggy. See, there's nothing stopping you from getting a horse and buggy today and using it. Look at the Amish. It's completely okay and legal to go buy a horse. But what you're seeing here is a government forceful situation where they're taking something away out of the free market and they're forcing you to use something else. No one came along 100 years ago and forced you to give up your horse and buy a car. See, that was a free market. People saw the option. Okay, this is more sustainable. This is better. I want this. And people naturally gravitated towards what was better. In this instance, the government is forcing you to use something that is not better, that is not sustainable, that is not more economically feasible. You're being forced in 2020. I already did articles on this, that in Europe, even if you have a classic car, they're going to confiscate it and shred it.
I don't believe I heard you correctly.
You have to meet certain requirements. Like your car has to be 100% original. Otherwise, they will take your classic car and they will shred it. You have no choice in the matter. They didn't take people's horses, and make them illegal 100 years ago. People had the choice. That's the difference between a free market and a forced market. And forced markets historically never, ever work. And continuing on with the bad news, only half of all Ford dealers agree to sell EVs next year. Ford said on Thursday that half of all 1,550 Ford dealers chose to sell electric vehicles in 2024, down from 2/3 that said this time last year that they would opt in to sell EVs for 2023. Guys, that's a huge nosedive. People are seeing this and they're like, I don't want any part of this. The other half of Ford dealers will sell and service ICE and hybrid models. EV adoption rates vary across the country, and we believe our dealers know their market best. Yes, they do. People don't want these vehicles. The slack buy-in from Ford dealerships comes even after Ford relaxed its requirements for dealers in the EV dealer program last January that mandated fewer L2 chargers and extended installation deadlines. Certified Ford EV dealers were once required to spend $500,000 for a single public DC fast charger, or $1 million if they wanted to be in the elite tier of EV dealers. The extra $500,000 was for another fast charger and demo units, among other things, but the high price tag caused Ford dealers to say hells to the no. Again, the reason this will fail is that people don't want it. You can't force people into something that they don't want for themselves, no matter how you do it. No matter how you try to sell, it's saving the planet or saving the environment. If it doesn't make someone's life better or easier, they're not going to want it. They want things that's going to complement their lives, not make their lives harder and more expensive to get through. What do you think? Leave a comment below. I'd love to know your thoughts. Do you own an EV? Have you experienced any maintenance cost? Any repair cost? I would love to hear your stories below. All right, guys. Hope you're having a great day. Check out our merchandise over at perfectpickler.com. You can find our own home fermentation kits. These are the master system includes a recipe book with all the recipes that you need to get started. It's an easy system. Load it, lock it, and leave it. The way you're going to get better probiotics is to make them yourself, not those expensive little worthless pill bottles that only give you 8 to 15 strains. A recent study from the National Library of Medicine shows that one head of cabbage can bring up to over 100 strains of gut healing healthy bacteria to your gut. Would you rather have 8 to 15 strains in that expensive pill bottle, or over 100 strains that you can make at home? perfectpickler.com. Check out our master system and try it out today. All right, guys. See you next time in the Homestead. Bye. If you've watched my channel, you know that I'm a fan of owning precious metals in times of economic turmoil. The reason being is because I'm an avid reader of history. One of the biggest objections to buying precious metals that I get goes something like this. Why buy precious metals? After all, you can't eat gold and silver. Actually, this is incorrect. Never has there been a time throughout all of human history where a producer of food has turned down the use of gold and silver when trying to make a sale. Never. Not once. Gold and silver have always been used when fiat money fails, and fiat money always eventually fails. There are countless times in history where governments hard up for real money took silver and copper coins from the past and then placed a countermark on the coin and then placed that old coin back into circulation. It didn't matter that it was an old coin of a different time and place. What mattered was the metal content. In the 1820s, the farmers in the German town of Natzheim would find Roman silver denarii so often in their fields when plowing that they would save them and use them to buy beer at the local tavern. In the 1840s, around the French town of Usure, Roman silver and gold coins were so numerous that people used them to pay bakers, butchers, and other merchants for their food goods. These are coins that were long gone in official circulation from the Roman Empire, but people used them anyway to pay for food even above their own official state-issued currency. Yes, you can eat gold and silver because gold and silver always buys food. If you have fiat paper savings banked away and you want to find a more historically reliable way to safeguard that wealth, this website can help you. AmericanGoldEscape.com gives you information and a way to reach out so that an expert can help you and show you how to escape. We are over $33 trillion in debt and rising rapidly. There is no saving this sinking ship. Visit AmericanGoldEscape.com to learn more. Linked in the description below. Hey guys, did you know you can become a patron of an American Homestead? They get access to private videos, and we send them gifts from the Homestead that we make here on the Homestead. And we also enter our patrons into special giveaways that are only available to them. And before you go, please check out these other great videos. Go ahead, click. I'll wait.